Most dating advice focuses on younger women, how to attract them, what excites them, how they think in their 20s and early 30s, when the dating market is at its most active. But there's an entire group of women that rarely gets discussed with any real depth: women over 40. And understanding what drives them is very different from understanding younger women. By 40, a woman has lived. She's accumulated experience, disappointment, loss, wisdom. She's not operating from the same psychological place as a 25-year-old still discovering who she is. She knows what she wants, or at least what she needs, even if she doesn't always describe it clearly. Today, we're going to talk about what women after 40 are actually chasing. Not what they say they want, but what truly drives their choices. This isn't judgment, it's pattern recognition. Because when you understand what someone genuinely needs, you understand how they behave. Attraction changes as women age, not just in what they're attracted to, but in why they're attracted. In their 20s, attraction is driven by chemistry, excitement, social approval, future potential. Butterflies matter, friends' opinions matter, vision matters. By 40, something shifts. The drivers become psychological, less about excitement, more about filling emotional gaps, less about building a future, more about addressing what's missing right now. Life accumulates, disappointments accumulate, unmet needs accumulate, and those unmet needs start driving behavior in ways that weren't present at 25. The question stops being, what does she find attractive, and becomes, what is she hungry for? The first pattern is the woman chasing validation. In her younger years, attention came easily. Men approached, compliments flowed, her appearance carried social currency. Aging changes that equation. The attention fades, the competition increases, and now she's competing with women 20 years younger. If her identity was built on being desired, what happens when desire becomes less automatic? What she's chasing now isn't a relationship, it's proof. Proof that she still matters, proof that she's still valuable, proof that time hasn't erased her worth. She responds powerfully to specific compliments, not surface-level beauty, but intelligence, taste, sophistication. These land differently because they suggest value that isn't fading. She may attach quickly to anyone who provides that validation consistently. Watch her social media behavior. Notice comparisons to younger women, to her past self. Nostalgia becomes her coping mechanism. Old photos, stories about how things used to be. She isn't reminiscing. She's holding on to a version of herself that felt more valuable. The second pattern is the emotionally wounded woman. She's been betrayed, abandoned, disappointed, often repeatedly. Maybe a husband left her. Maybe a long-term partner cheated. Maybe promises were made and broken. What she's chasing isn't excitement. It's safety. She attaches quickly to men who feel stable, consistent, emotionally predictable. She often confuses relief with love. The absence of anxiety feels like passion. And when the wound begins to heal, the attachment can fade, because it was driven by protection, not desire. She moves fast, commits quickly, because commitment equals security. The early phase feels intense, almost too good, but intensity born from need has a shelf life. The third pattern is the woman stuck in waiting mode. She believes her real life hasn't started yet. She treats partners as placeholders, emotionally available to possibility, not reality. What she's chasing is transformation. Novelty feeds the fantasy that change is coming. The problem? Fantasy is more seductive than reality. She's loyal to potential, not presence. Excitement fades once familiarity arrives. She's always scanning for what's next. Not immoral, just never fully present. The fourth pattern is the woman who never developed adult self-sufficiency. Her life was structured around providers, father, partners, husbands. Now she's facing independence, and it terrifies her. She's chasing another handler, someone to take over responsibility, but she often resents the very authority she needs. She confuses emotional intensity with freedom and stability with control. Her relationships oscillate between responsibility and rebellion. The fifth pattern is the career-dominant woman, successful, decisive, used to being in charge. But dominance doesn't turn off after work. She wants a strong partner, but struggles to relinquish control. She craves surrender, but fears vulnerability. She tests men constantly, not to defeat them, but to ensure safety. Her armor protected her, but now prevents intimacy. She's trapped in her own competence. Some women chase restoration, a return to a world they once occupied. Others chase identity through constant motion, workshops, retreats, new philosophies. Movement replaces meaning. Chaos feels like growth. Stability feels like stagnation. They're searching, but not arriving. The final pattern is cynical independence. She doesn't need anyone, and that pride becomes armor. She dates men she can fix. Caretaking replaces vulnerability. Broken men are safe. Capable men are threatening. She wants intimacy without surrender. Here's what unites every pattern: lack. Everyone pursues what they lack. This isn't criticism, it's human nature. By 40, those lacks have hardened into patterns. What many call love is often need finding a supplier. Need creates intensity. Want creates sustainability. Understanding these patterns isn't cynical, it's clarity. And clarity is the foundation of any connection that actually works. Not judgment, not manipulation. Understanding.